Before Jurassic World, before The Lost World, before Rampage Edition, but not before Jurassic Park, comes the sequel to the beloved movie by Steven Spielberg, Jurassic Park. No, really, it's a sequel and that's what the game is called. Hey, it's Janelle Waz and welcome back to another episode of Waz Reviews. One of the earliest movies I remember watching as a kid was Jurassic Park. I remember being captivated by the dinosaurs that looked so real, truly a marvel of practical effects that still looks better than the new movies. And as an adult, I can appreciate the special effects of the movie and also contemplate the overall message.
But your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Also hire more than one IT guy. There are security protocols in for a reason. Anyway, as a Jurassic Park fan and a Sega kid, it's no surprise that I've also played Jurassic Park video games. While I still have the password for the last level of the Genesis game seared into my brain for all eternity, CV3NUL6U, yeah! I also fondly remember the Sega CD game, Jurassic Park, which funnily enough is a sequel to Jurassic Park the movie presumably, but they just called it Jurassic Park. I loved playing this game as a kid, but I never could get very far into it. Heck, it wasn't until years later that I finally beat it with the help of a walkthrough. But it's been a few years since I've done that. Let's fire up the Jurassic Jeeps, get your cups of water ready, lock the door locks, and write your latest chaos theory monologue. We're going to Jurassic Park.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
The game starts with text. Granted, it's text that looks very Jurassic Park, but nevertheless, it's just text. Considering the game makes use of FMV here and there, it's a little disappointing not to see an FMV intro movie. I know you're supposed to be playing you in this game, but there are plenty of first-person FMV games out there. Now, I could let the intro play and tell you what the game is about, but I'll just summarize. You are indeed headed to Jurassic Park to collect dinosaur eggs within 12 hours for InGen, John Hammond's company. You need at least one dinosaur egg from each of the 7 species on the island. Should technically be 8 species, but okay. But of course, nothing goes as planned. There's no explanation given why InGen wants the eggs, but you're just a hired hand collecting them, so it's unlikely they would have told you why they needed the eggs.
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
Well, looks like I'm the only survivor. I guess I'll just grab whatever I can and move on. The only thing useful to survive the crash is this stunner gun, which to be honest is probably the most useless item in the game. You can also grab this rock here and take in the local scenery. I know it's kinda pixely, but I love the artwork in this game. I'm especially fond of the Brachiosaurus in the next area, one of my favorite dinosaurs. Don't worry, we'll be back here. Let's pick up this convenient keycard and move on. Now, because I've played this game before, I actually started looking for eggs right away. But before I really get into that, let's go over the Visitor Center. You enter into a Visitor Center that's in much better condition than the last time we saw it. Nevertheless, you pick up some nice tools around here, like these pliers and this radar thing, I guess. Upstairs, and I love the animation for going up and downstairs, you'll find a computer room where you can pick up messages from your InGen contact, Emily Shimura.
I'm Emily Shimura. I'll be your contact on this mission, so keep an eye on your message light. It means I have new information for you.
And you can also save your game here. Down the hall, you'll find Dr. Wu's office, where you can store dino eggs in the incubator, get some health, and a tranquilizer gun, which is probably the most useful weapon in this game. Further down the hall is Robert Muldoon's office, where you can access his computer and get a gas gun, which you will be needing later, so don't go wasting it, as well as some night vision goggles. Depending on the room, you may need an access card with the right clearance level, which is never outright stated. You won't be able to get into Muldoon's office with a white key, but once you have a Triceratops key, the room becomes available. And if you so happen to have the Velociraptor key, you'll get in just fine because it has higher clearance. So, let's go on that Easter egg hunt. From the Visitor Center, going left leads to the Triceratops, T-Rex, and Raptor nests, going right leads to the Gallimimus and Dilophosaurus nests, And going towards the beach leads to the nests for Brachiosaurus and Compys. The book calls them Compys.
Compy is one of the all-time smallest dinosaurs, about the size of a coyote, 10 pounds.
Let's start with the Triceratops egg, shall we? After a quick glance at the T-Rex exhibit, whoa. Good thing there's a thin wire protecting us from the T-Rex. We turn our eyes to the overturned car with the unlocked trunk where we grab some wire cutters. Continuing straight ahead, we enter Triceratops country. There's a few on the loose, but they don't really seem to bother you. Where you have to worry is the next area. Lying between that building over there and you is a sick Triceratops. You remember that in the movie, right? The game even makes reference to that scene in a couple of messages.
When Dr. Sattler was on the island, she helped Dr. Harding, the veterinarian, with a sick Triceratops. Born at the Triceratops said it drives them nuts.
As pleasant music begins to play, you turn to your right and spy a downed Jeep. Now, what you're supposed to do is honk the horn and another Triceratops hits the car and tools fall out. He begins to turn towards you, and if you don't hit the horn in the right rhythm, which I can sometimes do successfully and fail miserably at other times, he charges you. Yeah, this game has some of the most horrifying sound effects when you die. It doesn't show anything because the game's rated GA for general audiences, but the sounds are enough to make you cringe and imagine the worst. Which, if you think about it, is quite effective. The game doesn't need to show you anything, the sound effect is all you need. But anyways, after so many attempts, I finally got the Triceratops to hit the car 3 times without it killing me. I guess after the third horn, he just really doesn't care anymore. Out of the car comes some useful items. A Triceratops CD, a crowbar, and an injector. Gee, I wonder what this is for. But we still can't get into the building because we don't have the right key. We have the white key, but not the Triceratops key. However, the Triceratops key is in the previous area, but you couldn't pick it up before because you need the crowbar from the car, which wouldn't be a big deal, but traveling to different areas takes up time. You see, the game runs in real time when you're looking around an area or even going through doors. But if you're traveling to another area, you instantly lose travel time. For example, going from the visitor center to the T-Rex enclosure takes about 10 minutes, so you really want to limit how much time you go back and forth between areas. Luckily here, we only lost about 5 minutes going back for the key, but time management is critical in this game. Anyway, take a branch from the tree, give it to the baby Triceratops, and grab the key from the box. Travel back to the building, go inside, and... guys, we've got company.
Look, we're gonna have company!
Now, you could save your tranquilizers and just work fast, or you can do what I did and just trank the Dilophosaurs. Why don't I use the stunner? Because the stunner is pretty useless. But let's get to work. We have to go through this door right here. So let's fix the pipe with the steam coming out, open up the locker to flip on a switch that opens up another locker, and... oh no! If you're by any chance thinking there was a code I missed somewhere along the way, nope! This game actually forces you to backtrack back to the visitor center, figure out that you have the right key to go into Muldoon's office, put the Triceratops CD into Muldoon's computer, get the code, and then travel all the way back here, fight the Dilophosaurus again because they respawned, and enter the code. All while the clock is ticking away. Luckily the code doesn't change, so if you by any chance got the code and died, you can reload from an earlier spot, specifically before going into the Triceratops habitat in the first place, and save yourself some precious minutes. Ah, finally! I do love the movies that play in between areas. I'm pretty sure these are 3D rendered, but the ones that play when you're traveling outside look like real videos. Oh, great. Surrounded by Triceratops with only a manhole to protect me. Lovely. But here we see a mama Triceratops by her nest. I'm sure she's not going to be picky about who's near her babies. The goal here is to wait for a compy to take an egg, trank it, because again the stunner does nothing, and take the egg and make a run for it. Solid plan. Hey, why are they running away? Admittedly, I had a hard time with this one since the compies moved faster than I could trank it. Got one! Oh, she sounds angry. After dropping off the egg in the incubator, which you should do as quickly as possible before the dinosaur dies, and doing a quick save, I need something easy. After all, getting bulldozed by multiple triceratops changes a person. So I'm off to find some easy nests, and luckily there are a few in this game. Let's go back to the Brachiosaurus, happily grazing at the treetops, content with life, quiet. That's about to change. But first let's pick up these compy eggs. There's a nest right here to pick up some easy eggs. Now if you turn to the Brachiosaurs, you'll notice a little kiosk. These kiosks are around the park at different habitats and feature some fun dino facts by well-known paleontologist Dr. Robert T. Bacher. However, some of these facts also serve as clues for getting the dino eggs. I just love the goofy smile on this Brach. It screams 4th grade school yearbook picture. But we come to the last fact.
Baby crocs and gators have a special alarm call that makes the parents come running. Maybe Brachiosaurus had a similar system.
Well, that could have gone badly. But now we have access to the Brachiosaurus nest. Yoink! And now we head back to the visitor center, drop off the eggs, and do a quick save. Easy, right? Now we have about 7 hours and 40 minutes left. Might as well take care of those Dilophosaurus eggs.
Hello, Newman.
But we have something Newman didn't have. A tranquilizer gun. It's probably not worth fighting all the Dilophosauruses, but you can at least thin their numbers a little. There's a nest here, but it's full of compy eggs, so that doesn't help us since we already picked those up. But we snagged ourselves a T-Rex CD. A river stands between you and the Dilophosaurus eggs, and luckily, there's a boat here. Ah, I remember the boat level of the Genesis Jurassic Park game fondly. Luckily, there's some fuel conveniently in the Jeep here, so let's just fill that up and go. Well, I'm glad it didn't evaporate all this time. Oh, look, a first aid station right next to a dangerous area. Convenient. Well, I'd love to stay and chat, guys, but I gotta get going. Gotta see a man about a raptor. See ya! Well, let's drop off the eggs and check our messages. More bad news. I mean, how can things be getting worse? It turns out that InGen rival Biosyn was the one that sabotaged our chopper in the beginning, they keep sabotaging our rescue choppers, and now they're headed to the island.
We're getting some interference.
Hey, I'm losing ya.
Hello, nice of you to join me.
Evil Brent Spiner? Well, not exactly, but he looks like somebody, I just can't place who. Either way, he says he's after the eggs, and if we don't stay in the visitor center...
Well, I couldn't guarantee your safety.
That sounds like a threat, right? I'm pretty sure that sounds like a threat.
Just leave the eggs alone and stay out of our way.
I think I already grabbed some earlier, but I'm bored, so let's grab some Gallimimus eggs. And have I mentioned the stunner does absolutely nothing? Well, the eggs are pretty easy to grab here, so let's pick them up. Oh, now the stunner does something. Useless pizza. Anyway, because I value my safety, I'm going to go into the T-Rex enclosure. Well, Dr. Bacher, is there anything I need to know before I die?
Tyrannosaurus rex had the strongest bite of any meat eater. Its forehead was 4 feet wide. T-Rex had a double-jointed jaw, could open its mouth so wide it could swallow an entire Guernsey cow.
Well, that's comforting. Well, time to cut the wire keeping us safe from Rexy, and let's head on in. Sure seems mighty peaceful. No nest, but there's a gate, that's probably where I need to go. Oh, that music doesn't sound good.
Opening sequence initiated. 30 seconds.
Oh, that doesn't sound good either. Oh, that's not good. And here I am armed with a stunner. Oh, that sounded painful. So remember that gas gun from earlier that I said don't waste? Well, you actually need it here. Go for broke! Okay. Alright. I'm safe. This is a safe place. Oh, it's not. This is not a safe place. Okay, don't panic. Don't panic. Just press the button.
Hello, Newman.
Not today. I am in no mood. Okay, I think I lost her. Oh look, the eggs are right here. Well, better grab those. Oh no, that music doesn't sound good. Let's try that again. This time, let's pick up the bear horn that Muldoon left a note about in the last area and use that. Okay, we got what we came here for. Let's get the hell out of here. And now, because I really value my safety, just who does Biosyn think they're talking to?
Well, I couldn't guarantee your safety.
Let's go right into the raptor cave. Now this was the point where I had to open up a walkthrough because this part is difficult. After throwing a couple of rocks to create a bridge to Raptor Town, you enter into a cave.
Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark.
The night vision goggles help you see the raptors when they come for you, but they don't really point out available paths. I also don't recommend dilly-dallying because if you sustain 2 raptor attacks, then... Oof, that might have been the worst one. In short, you have to quickly pick up this rock and head up the barely visible stairs next to it. Look over into the well, throw 2 rocks into it, make a wish, pick up the raptor key card, and through dumb luck, head over to this area. Because it's real easy to go back down the stairs again. Then you have to open up the gate, wait for the gate to open, sound familiar, while you fight off raptors. The walkthrough gave a really nice tip in that if you trank 3 raptors and keep them on screen, no more will spawn, and you will need as much tranquilizer darts as you can spare. Moving quickly ahead, you have to open the manhole cover, steal the eggs, and exit through the sewer, all while avoiding raptor attacks. We don't want to hear that sound again. But now we made it to the visitor center with all the dino eggs. Victory, however, is short. Biosyn is right at our door. Final warning. Oh, it's just good old Emily. And she has a plan to get me off the island.
We found your transportation, sort of. Biosyn's a lot more interested in grabbing DNA than they are in hunting you. If you're quick, you might be able to slip past them and take their helicopter.
Of course. Good plan, Em. I'm sure Biosyn, who threatened me to stay in the visitor center and I willfully disobeyed, isn't armed to the teeth anyway or would leave a couple of guys to watch the chopper. But it's not like I value my own safety anyways, so let's steal a chopper.
I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Let's reload on some tranquilizer near the front door and head out. Oh look, there's my ride. Now this game has some frustrating moments. The Triceratops horn, the raptor nest, even the T-Rex enclosure if you don't know what you're doing. But this? It must have taken me an hour and a half to get past these guys. I also love that it takes maybe 2 to 3 tranquilizers to trank a 1,000-pound dinosaur, but these guys need like 6 darts? Like, how? How does this happen? And there's 4 of these guys you have to fight in 3 waves. These 2 up front, 1 from behind in the river, and this super strong guy that's probably armed with an elephant gun. My ammo is pretty limited since a lot of it was used up with the raptors and dealing with random Dilophosaurs, but that wasn't my problem. My problem was that I would run out of health long before running out of ammo. After feeling myself go slowly insane repeating this over and over and over again, me and my 30 darts are able to catch the last flight off Isla Nublar.
I knew you could do it. If anyone could get those eggs away from Biosyn, you were the one. Congratulations. I'll see you when you get back. And thanks.
Well, that was a little underwhelming of an ending after everything I went through, but okay. And that's Jurassic Park, the Sega CD sequel to Jurassic Park. So, does life find a way? This game can be pretty difficult. I never beat it as a kid, but that was probably because I was scared to go into certain areas. Don't judge me. But besides that, some of the puzzles aren't the most obvious, and if I didn't already play this game with a walkthrough years ago, with all the puzzles locked away in my memory, I probably would have had trouble with it this time around. Because of that, yes, it's a good idea to have a walkthrough handy. I definitely needed it when it came to the raptor nest. But now for the grading. The game's controls are functional enough. A to travel to different areas, B to open up your inventory, or matrix as the game calls it, and C to use items and interact with stuff. I did occasionally try to use C or A when I had the inventory open, but you have to select what you want and press B to close. It's a small issue, but it's hardly worth mentioning. 4 out of 5. I love the appearance and ambiance in this game. Maybe it's the nostalgia, but I also love the soundtrack. The game feels very much like Jurassic Park, it's nice to look at, the dinosaurs are animated nicely, and the FMV movies are great. The user interface is straight to the point, and you know what everything is. 5 out of 5. No complaints. The story is just enough to hold the game together. It's not detailed, and yeah, I don't know why InGen sent me to collect dinosaur eggs. I don't know who Emily Shimura is. Heck, I don't even know this guy's name. But that's okay. This game doesn't need a big story. It plops you in the middle of Jurassic Park and tells you to collect dinosaur eggs, and I'm fine with that. 4 out of 5. Not a deep story, hence the point off, but it's enough. There's hardly a learning curve for this game. There are only 3 buttons to learn besides the directional pad, no combinations, and you use a cursor to point what you want to interact with. It doesn't get much easier than that. 5 out of 5. However, I can't see the replayability being very high for this game, at least not right away. Again, I grew up with this game, so I always like coming back to it for a nice nostalgia rush, but it's not like the puzzles change or there are different story paths to take. It's the same game no matter how many times you play it, and if you know the solutions, you might not get the same rush out of this game as you did the first time. 3 out of 5. It's not like you can't replay it, but I would wait a while to forget the puzzles before another replay. That leaves Jurassic Park with a 21 out of 25 or 84%. This is honestly a pretty good Sega CD game, and even a good Jurassic Park game. As a game, it might be a solid B, but if you love Jurassic Park, you'll definitely enjoy this game. Now, Sega CD games are hard to come by and can be a little pricey, but Jurassic Park is one of the more affordable games on the system. The game was a Sega CD exclusive, limiting its audience to Sega CD owners, but if you happen to have a Sega CD and you love Jurassic Park, this game is definitely worth your time. So what do you think? Did you play this Jurassic Park game? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Does it deliver the Jurassic Park experience? And what are some of your favorite Jurassic Park games? Please leave a comment below and discuss. As always, thanks for watching another episode of Waz Reviews. If you like what you see, why not give me a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends! Until next time...
That's chaos theory.